So I usually try to do these videos pretty early in the morning because that's the only time there's light in this apartment, but I guess that makes my first essential my morning cup of coffee. So let's go make that. So I usually try to do a cup of black coffee in the morning before moving on to my milk drink later in the afternoon. That's the key to success, I think. So I've always been a little bit of a gear guy, whether that's been cycling, a record collection, coffee, and of course, fashion. But my philosophy, I think, if there is to be one when it comes to gear and that kind of stuff, is that everything should have at least a little bit of a purpose. Not everything will be the item that saves your life, of course. Sometimes there's just purpose in looking nice. So to kick off, we'll just start with what I wear on the daily, which will usually be my ring and cuff and a watch. I used to be a big smartwatch guy, but after a while I found that the constant notifications and, my watch telling me that I needed to stand more was starting to get really distracting and honestly just caused a lot of stress in my life. So I rolled that up, left it in a drawer, and started looking into mechanical watches. And like I said before, I'm a little bit of a gear guy, so the bug caught up to me pretty quick. I don't have a super fancy watch collection by any means, but I think what I do have really ties into the idea that yes, these are timepieces and they need to tell the time, but they also work really well with how I put myself together, and sometimes a good watch is what you really need to tie in an outfit. My current favorite is the 40mm Tissot PRX. I think it's honestly a little bit big on my wrist. I have very, very small wrists, but I think there's a certain charm to the 80s all-metal big slab kind of watch. It's also got 100 meters of water resistance, so I can wash my hands, I can live my life without really thinking or worrying about it, which to that idea of function is really important, I do love a dainty watch, and one day I will get a Cartier tank, but those things are a little bit more fragile than you'd expect. On the other hand, and a little bit more literally, I have these two pieces of sterling silver from Studebaker Metals. They're an awesome little workshop based out of Pittsburgh, and in both of these pieces, I really like that you can see the hammer marks in the metal. It's a subtle detail that I think really shows that these are made by hand by real people. I also have this matching keyring, which really leads to a nice, cohesive look. I found that for my skin tone, that silver looks a lot better than gold or bronze does. So for anything I pick up in the future, I'm definitely going to try to keep to this silver theme because I think that just works really well for me. You'll also see that they're all polished silver, and I think that's neat because it allows me to really get my own wear and tear on these pieces, especially since I plan on having them for years to come. I'm really excited to see what they wind up looking like. Now, we'll move on to what I carry in my pockets, I suppose, and this is going to be the most EDC part of the video, and besides my phone, it's an iPhone 13, I have this wallet that a friend gifted me, and I usually carry some sort of pocket knife. This wallet is made by a guy named Attilio Beno up in DC. I think I'll pop up his Instagram here. It is a beautiful, beautiful shell cordovan that is finally starting to soften up and get some character into the leather. The inside cash pocket is regular cow leather, but it's green and has his logo in gold foil, I think. Not sure how he did it, but it looks great. The most classic EDC thing is this pocket knife that I carry on me. This one specifically is a Leatherman K2, I believe. Yeah, I got into carrying a pocket knife when I worked in a retail job, and every day I was cutting open boxes. And at that point, I was using an Opinel number 8. Since then, I kind of wanted something with a few more tools, and that's the thing that I really like about the Leatherman is that if you open up the back, there's a screwdriver, a little pry tool and a smaller screwdriver, and then another screwdriver. This honestly mostly comes in handy because the glasses I'm wearing, the screws tend to get loose pretty regularly, and it's nice to have something that I can go in and tighten it up. Instead of using the knife blade itself. I obviously did something to this Opinel and snapped off the tip. Who knows when that happened? So the final everyday essential for me, and one that I think I'm still trying to figure out, is using a good fragrance. I think for the cooler months, I've settled on this by Maison Margiela. It's their Autumn Vibes from the Replica line. Though for the warmer months, I've been trying out a couple different options, from their On a Date, which I think is nice and floral, to Commodities Gold Expressive. So while we're still in summer, I think I'm still trying to find a good daily driver. I'm looking for something that, is warm, but not like spicy. I think that smells really weird when it starts getting hot and you start getting sweaty, and no one likes that. So if you have any good recommendations for a nice, light, maybe a little bit of bergamot for the summer, I'd really appreciate that. So that does it for my everyday essentials. Again, it's kind of about mixing function and looks, something that I'll want to wear every day, and more importantly, something that I'll have for plenty of years to come. So until next time, I'd always appreciate it if you liked, subscribed, did the YouTube things. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I'm trying to do more video. As part of this YouTube channel, I'm trying to expand past just taking photos of myself and of mountains and lakes and stuff. So go check that out. I'd appreciate it. And until next time.